can be the sparkle and the spice of our relationship. And so by just doing the senses exercise, hey, if you're not the same, that's great. I get a I notice that I am more sensitive to auditory things now, because I know that's one way to love my husband. Think, hey, is this restaurant too noisy for you? You know, do I need to, things like that. So it just allows me to love him better, because now I understand a portion of his life. And as you had shared, being an interior designer, you want to have a home that's a pleasant space. And I understand how to make my home a more pleasant space, because I understand my husband more, right? So, all righty. On question B, how might you bless your spouse by knowing their sense priority? Has anyone thought of an answer for that one? Because of doing this? Yes, what?
Well, because I know hearing is his most priority. It's not touch, I found out. We found out that real quick. Then he's more driven by, like, hearing what comes out of my mouth.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that till,
Yes.
like, right now I'm more visual, so everything for me is like I have to see it.
Yeah.
So for him, I have to be more, pay more attention to the words that I say and how I say them, and then maybe dress him with more,
Yeah, that's pretty big. And considering item number 1,
Yeah.
if you've got an auditory, somebody's high on auditory, then our exercise number 1 ends up being very, very important.
Yeah.
Right? Right. Yeah, so thank you for sharing that. Anyone else have a share? How can you better love your spouse by knowing this? Anybody, nothing? Okay. And then, so what sense-related words could you better communicate? So we're talking a lot about auditory. What are some sense-related words? Well, any sense, right, but I just wanted to do an example. So for auditory, it might be, how might,
What did you hear me say?
what did you hear me say? So you can start using like a sense-related word. We actually talked about this earlier when somebody says, how am I feeling versus how are you doing? So are any other sense-related words you can think of that you might use to love your spouse better? Sense-related.
Word.
So an example would be like O'Leary's auditory, your husband's auditory centered. What was your example?
Okay, yeah.
Just say the example.
The example is like, so you want to use hearing type words. So Robert, what did you hear me say? Notice how he just spoke right away.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Because his listening is toward hearing. If his listening was toward visual, then you go, what do you see is the problem. Words actually, you see, yeah, you got that. So the words actually say. Now I know, like, so with Kyle's wife, I would say you're tactile, right? And I could tell because you were just walking around touching last night. You're kinesthetic, right? Because we're buddies, because I learned kinesthetically. So you say, like, so what do you feel? Feel words are good. What is that to, so feeling kind of words from dictionary.
Yeah. So think of any other ideas on sense-related words you might use? All right. Yes.
We were talking about the senses, how they're prioritized.
Yes.
And his second one was hearing, but hearing came like way down with me, but he was saying, oh, so you're not really hearing what I say. But usually when we're talking, I have to ask like 3 or 4 questions before I know what he's saying.
To understand.
So I would say, I see, and then maybe, can you explain more or something? But yeah, it's, I don't know. He's excited about what he wants to say and how he wants to say it, but then I'm not getting it. So when I'm asking more, he thinks I'm trying to get ahead of I don't know. What do you think? Like, he'll tell me something, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I'll say something, and he said, you already finished got your opinion before I even say something or something like that. I don't know what, but he was telling me that, but it's more.
No, I was just thinking of doing this, so now I understand one thing, because when I'm telling her all these things. So it takes a long time to get it. Now that I see where she put her sense, now I can understand her better right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And he can
in
be
the
more
past,
specific.
I thought maybe she wasn't paying attention.
Right.
But now I'm saying that that thing is way down.
Mm-hmm.
So now, okay. So maybe I need to, so now when I'm giving her something, I need to just spend more time, just
Mm-hmm.
trying to make sure that.
And your
she got
top one was
We're
sight.
both
it. Sight.
visual. Mhm.
Yeah,
So
but-
you might ask a question, do you see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, to see if you're connecting, if your message is being translated. Yeah. All right, I'm glad you like it.
Or you could say like, how can you say in pictures, how can you explain in pictures what you're trying to say? Something like that.
We might have a charade game going on.
Richard, do you have a question?
Yeah. that's right.
No, I was,
Sounds like-
last night, my wife was, asking me, about faith and how people, and I kept saying, well, I asked her the same questions like 4 times so I can interpret what she was saying, because every time I gave her an answer, even when I went to the scripture, she was just, I'm like, do you understand? I need to understand what you're saying. I need to interpret what you're saying, and it was difficult because I was trying to understand how she interpreted certain things, and even when I gave her an answer that I thought was, right for her, it still wasn't the right answer.
Well, communication is an art form, and we're trying to provide some tools there. And what was your top sense again? Visual, right?
Visual. Yeah.
Right. So perhaps again, word pictures might be
Yeah.
helpful, or
Or an
do you
example.
see what I'm saying? Okay.
Like a visual
There you go.
example.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Well, I know we've got a couple more tools. We have a couple more tools that we want to share with you, and this has been really fun. So maybe we'll be able to continue the conversation at another time. But I want to make sure we get to our next tool.
So you want to button this one?
Oh, wait a second. We got to seal this one with a kiss. All right.
On the back page, we do it.
Here we go.
You're not gonna fill out your paper?
Yeah, we do the back.
All right, whoa,
Oh.
okay, well.
I think the warranty expired yesterday.
That's how it is.
Well, that's that.
I told you, honey, things break after the warranty.
Found out what that
I
sounded.
said that last one. I said, as soon as I tell them I can't, my back goes out. They won't do it for me anyway.
No blood was drawn here.
All right.
All right, well, at least we got through the exercise.
Just let me know.